Supersonic has successfully conducted the second supersonic flight of its XB-1 demonstrator, reaching speeds surpassing the sound barrier. The XB-1 serves as a test bed for technologies intended for the company's future commercial airliner Overture, which aims to offer supersonic travel for passengers. Flight data from this mission is going to help refine aerodynamics, engine performance, noise reduction techniques ahead of commercial certification efforts. The challenge here is developing materials and designs that can endure the stresses of sustained supersonic flight, while also ensuring passenger comfort and safety. It's a pretty complex engineering hurdle, it feels like.
Yeah, I love what Boom are trying to do. I love it. I mean, such a sad day when Concorde went, but it wasn't economically viable until they announced they were going to sunset it. And then it became economically viable because everybody wanted to fly in it. So breaking the sound barrier is one thing, but getting your regulatory approval and making supersonic travel commercially viable is a whole different thing. So the biggest challenge for me is navigating strict noise, emissions, and safety regulations while ensuring the business case for Overture holds up against your fuel costs, your infrastructure needs, and passenger demand. And I want to come back on this because you're thinking, what's commercially viable got to do with the strict noise control or emissions? That's where we need to go to, because this is one of the biggest issues.
It sounds like they're ahead of the regulations, though, right? I mean, if they weren't already building the parts in the plane with those in mind, it feels a bit silly or a bit backwards, right? It's getting it to work in light of the regulations. It feels like it might be the difficult part.
Yeah, you got it. They've definitely run the Excels. There's no doubt about it. Boom knows what the regulations are, and they're engineering Overture with those constraints in mind. The challenge isn't just compliance, it's making it all work without killing the business case. So the challenge here is, number one, sonic boom mitigation versus overland flight restrictions. So you might not recall, it's banned, and so it's banned to fly with a sonic boom over land. And so you need a low boom aerodynamic, or you're left with just transoceanic flights. So you're coming out of like a JFK and you're off to LHR, London Heathrow, and you're in, because you're just going across the Atlantic, not across land. And that is going to be a dollar nightmare if that's all they're left with. Second is your fuel efficiency versus your ticket price. So it's 3 to 5 times more expensive to fly, a supersonic. So they want to start delivering the stuff we've talked about a lot, which is the sustainable aviation fuel, or it's become really expensive. And then, last but not least, you've got airport infrastructure. Will they accept that plane?
Yeah, that's all of that. The solution there is product validation and simulation. No?
It's a little more. It's actually proving that it works in a wind tunnel. Doesn't mean it works in the real world. The only way supersonic flight becomes viable is if design, manufacturing, and operations are fully connected. The design engineers need to let it go, get it into manufacturing, get it out there, and start proving what they can practically build. And that's where your critical thread really, really kicks in. So number one, yes, product validation simulation for sonic boom control. So low boom aerodynamics aren't just about shape. They depend on real-time airflow, modeling, which means that simulation drives every design choice. So you've got to have your modular simulation running as you're doing things. Second, your airport infrastructure and airspace integration. So supersonic planes can't just show up and take off. They need specific runway lengths. They need airspace clearance, and they need flight corridors. Digital twins link airport infrastructure planning with flight validation. So they're not just designing a plane that airports can't even handle, and then get it into manufacturing. Next one.